Hi everybody. Today we're going to do just an overview on invoicing in EDC. So how prices are configured in EDC, and basically the whole point of this is to be able to set the pricing for anything you want, any service in EDC eventually, and also how to troubleshoot invoices. Um, Today is just going to be a quick overview, and then I'm just going to add a few more videos specific to each topic as I go along. Um, so let's get going. I'm going to start EDC here. Okay, uh, invoicing. Pretty much everything is set in the accounting tab. And like I said, this is just going to be a quick overview. We're not going to go into details on anything here. This is just to give you, like I said, just an overview. Um, So the first thing to check, really, everything is in pricing related is configured in the general pricing module. This is where you set any kind of prices for any kind of service. Um, and by the way, if you know all these fields, what they mean, I'm not going to go through each of them, but you can read on that. Uh, if you press F1 on your keyboard, you should have it should straight away take you to the fields section of the help. And if you look at this is all the same fields in here. So a description of all those fields is pretty much mandatory, first of all, to be able to configure anything. So I suggest whenever you enter a module, you don't know really what the fields are about, uh, just have a read through them first. It's going to make everything much clearer. So, and if for any reason at all, when you press F1, if you can't see the help, you can always get that same information on our website. It takes a bit longer to get there, but all the same information is there. So if you go to docudatasoft.com, on the top right, there's the support link. If I click on that, then Record Center, Manuals, then I got the user manual here. I can click for the online version here. And on the left side, if you go down to where it says Reference Manual, and then accounting, then you get basically these are all the tabs. So if I go under general pricing, then I got my fields page right here. But if you go into any other module, you always have a fields page. So the fields page is the one you want to look for descriptions of those fields. Okay, so basically how it works is all the prices are entered into the general pricing module. We got the price code here and the price associated basically with that code. Sometimes you have price breaks, sometimes you don't. If there is, they will be in here, and when you edit the record, you can, change that and change those other settings there. I'm going to cancel that now. And how it works with that is the general pricing are the main prices, if you will. There's also the customer module pricing, where if you ever need to override a certain price code for just a specific customer or a few, then you do that through here. The price codes are taken from the general pricing. So let's say you want to override, say, Web 1. Well, then you'd go in here, and let's say you want to create a new code for a customer. Then you have to enter in here a price code that already exists in the general pricing. You can't make one up here. So if I try to enter Web 2, for example, it's not letting me, it's giving me a list instead of price code to choose from. So you can't create one, you have to use one from the general pricing. So I would have used Web 1 here. Keep going. Same thing here, you can override the price, whether it's tiered or not, the tax, and if you need to put, whenever you enter a new code in here, the description is going to be copied over from the general one, but you can override the description with that field. Okay, so that's for the prices. Now these prices, once they're created, they can be applied to everything else in EDC. Um, for example, if you go to the box type module, for each box type, you got all the different price codes associated with that box type, whether it's a storage price or retrieval fee or delivery fee and all that. So these are all in here. So you'd have to first of all, create your codes, and once your codes are created, then you can just go in here and choose the codes you want for um, for the operation in particular. These codes are also entered in delivery types, so prices for deliveries and stuff. That's for because there's different ways to bill customers. One is via the box types actually, and one is not with the box types. Actually, the box types are always used a little bit, but I'm not going to get through all that now. But all that to say, you can enter some price codes in here too for deliveries when you need to. And that's it. So one thing I should mention is everything in EDC is billed through deliveries. Some people call that work orders, um, but every order in EDC eventually gets matched up to a delivery, and it's the delivery itself that is taken, to the invoicing stage, if you will. So whenever you have a delivery, and when the delivery is complete, there will always be a fee associated with an actual delivery. And these you can always find out again in the accounting tab through the delivery billing module. So let's say I completed, delivery so and so. For example, if I go here, let's take one that's complete. This one is no charge. Maybe it's not going to charge anything, but let's have a look anyway. So 35040. So if I take that one as an example, and I can view the charges here after that. Okay, 42 cents, whatever. The idea is that with that module, you can find out uh, exactly what a certain delivery was built for and what the services were on that delivery and all that. If I click again on this, it says, for example, 1 unit of labor minutes. This description that you see here is also the description of the price code. So let's say you wanted to know exactly what was the configuration of that exact price code, what conditions are attached to that price code, like if it has price breaks or not and stuff like that. Then you take that description and then search for that in the general pricing. So I could search, via the English description, say, and I could search for labor and see what I get. Here it is, right? And to be sure that this is the one I'm looking for, I can go back and previous and next to find out if there's something else before or after that resembles that. Doesn't look like it, so this is the one. And for example, here I'm seeing the price is 0. So one would be wondering, well, why then um, it's set to 0, but I had something in my delivery billing? That could be for a few reasons. But the first thing I would check at this point is that, well, okay, then probably this customer has a customer override. because I could have well set it to 0 here and decide to put something different in the customer. So if I have a look, Maine is my price code now. So if I look in here, I could search for Maine for my customer. There's nothing here. So it's not in my customer pricing. It's not in my general pricing. In that case, then when that's usually the case, the only thing left is in the customer information module. There's usually an hourly fee. If I look at my demo D customer, yeah, I got an hourly rate of $25. So if I divide that by 60 for 1 minute, it probably gives me the price I'm looking for here. I'm not going to calculate all that, but that's most likely where it comes from. Um, so yeah, so delivery billing to find out exactly how much deliveries were charged for. Um, so that's pretty much it. And again, if you look at an invoice, any invoice, if I look at it, same thing. Here I got so many units of such and such. These are all the descriptions from the general pricing. Uh, so you always refer back to those modules to find out what the price and how the price is configured. And you go from there, after that to recalculate something manually. If someone said, for example, a certain line on the invoice was not correct, well, or they say here, that number is not correct or that number is not correct, then you have to first go and look at that price code and figure out from there if it makes sense or not, the line you're seeing there. Sometimes it gets pretty tricky, and especially if you're being billed by department, um, there's other things involved with troubleshooting an invoice. Um, Quite a few steps, depending on what the problem is. Again, I'm not going to go through that right now. There's going to be a specific video on that at a later time. And that's the basics of it. Um, Once you understand that, I mean, everything else that has a price into it revolves around that. Um, so I don't think there's anything else here for that. Everything else is going to be specific to some situations that I'm going to explain later. So I'm going to stop it there for now, and let's make this one just an overview, and we'll go into more specifics later on. Okay, have a good one.